And welcome to our board meeting. It is Thursday, December 15th. I'm calling it to order. So would everybody, I think we need to do a roll call. Please,
Mr. Mitchell.
Mr.
Here.
Riddle.
Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Ford.
Here.
Mrs. McMahon.
Here. Okay, everyone join in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll just point out that Mr. Bostic's not here this evening. His son is here visiting from the military from Japan. So he is spending some time with John and his fiance.
All right. If there are no questions on the minutes from our work session in November, along with our regular meeting, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion approved. And then moving on to the agenda, if there are no changes to be made? No. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion approved. And that being said about Mr. Bostic, we will not be having an update for the Upper Valley Career Center until maybe next month. And no one is here from the public, so we'll move along to Mr. Hiddle's treasurer's report agenda.
Good evening. You guys have had a chance to look at the November reports. Were there any questions about those? The other item that we have on there tonight is the 2024 tax budget. And so this is something that I put together for the county auditor's office every year. And so they're already working on what tax year 24 looks like. And so this basically gives them the snapshot of where we are projecting to end 23 and then going into 24. So we approve this every year at this time of the year, and they use it for their projections and helping us set the tax rates. Those are the only two things I have.
Okay. Any questions from anybody? Okay, me neither. So can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's agenda?
So moved. Second.
And I guess, Jeremy, please call a roll.
Mr. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Frazier.
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell.
Aye.
Mrs. McMahon.
Aye. Okay, the treasurer's agenda is approved. And now we can move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. Our annual pat on the back to the treasurer's office. I should have let Sean, because I know you'd like to congratulate Jeremy and his team on their work. But they do very good work, and they did get another recognition from the Government Finance Officers Association. I'll just read this letter because it's really short. Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada has awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting to the Piqua City School District for its annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 21. The report has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the highest standards possible for the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure to clearly communicate its financial story and motivate potential users and user groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by its management. So we know they do a good job, and they really do. So we're very proud that they continue to get recognition for their work, and congratulations to
Canada.
Jeremy.
Congrats.
U.S.
USA.
and Canada,
Okay.
North America. Yep.
So you're going international.
That's right.
International.
International, baby. The audit is coming towards the close, and so there are no issues at all again. So I'm sure we'll be in this conversation again.
Congratulations to you and your team. I just want to give a really great shout out to our music department for some amazing holiday programs. Our students really showcased some just tremendous talent, and everything from choral at the high school all the way down to first grade. At Spring Creek, we had band programs, and they just really did a nice job. A lot of really good feedback from parents, and the kids really seemed to enjoy themselves. So those teachers and students have been working hard, and I appreciate them bringing some good cheer to the community. December, we always give a report update on bullying. We do that each December and each June. So Tony tracks that information, and he's going to give just an update on some of the bullying information that we've collected.
Thank you. Just so you're aware, we collect all of that through the bullying website. Even if we get a call, we direct people to that website, so we have documented evidence of what's actually happening. Those go directly to the building administrator for investigation. We get all the bullying reports so we can follow up with them as well. And then specifically, they're looking for, does what's put into the system meet the definition of bullying? And then they record that as, this is a case of bullying, and then here's what we've done in the reporting system. Or it's not a case of bullying, and here's what we've done. So what we found was, at the front end of the year, we saw a kind of an alarming number of reports that were coming in, and none of them were bullying, right? So we had to re-educate, especially at PCIS, which is where we get the highest volume, of what you should be reporting as bullying, but then also how to report as bullying. So what happened during that time was then we saw this new influx because kids were reminded of the system, so they started getting in the system more. But what was interesting that we saw was I counted 11 different times where teachers took their classes through that and had a bullying report popped up to us, but it was a sample, so that they could see, to the point where we were in DLT one night, and I said, wait a minute, this was all very strange. So I got down to the final part, this Horton guy that you're talking about, this report, and it said, this is not real, this is and they were taking, so it's good that they're taking their kids through and showing them how to use the system. So by the numbers from September 6th all the way through, I actually checked again today, we had one additional one today, so 0 reported at Spring Creek, 1 reported at Washington Primary, and that one was not a case of bullying. We had 61 reports at PCIS, 6 of them were deemed to be bullying. Piqua Junior High School had 14 reports, 2 of them were bullying, and Piqua High School had 18, and 1 of them was deemed to be bullying, and for a total of 94 total reports and 9 actual incidents that we dealt with as bullying cases with our administrative team. So, and like we've told you before, those result in anything from communicating with parents, lots of different kids, teachers developing a plan to make sure that that's obviously watched closely, but then making sure it doesn't happen again, all the way through. We've actually done expulsions on 2 different cases this year on kids that were engaging in that kind of conduct. So it kind of runs the gamut. Now, obviously, you're not going to see as much reporting at the primaries because those kids come and tell the teacher, they're not at a computer, those kinds of things. So they're dealing with those things, but we ask them at the administrative level, once they get to them, and if they do determine there's some bullying, to get that in the system as well.
And we always remind parents, it's on our website, the bullying website. There's also a safety bullying or a safety reporting system. They don't have to put their name or information in there. They can do it anonymously, but it does help if they put their name in because then we can ask verification. We gave the district calendar out this year, and on every single page, there's a link on there where a parent can literally just capture it and go right to the bullying website. So we try to make it as accessible as possible. We teach all the kids model for him, like he said, at the beginning of the year. We're going to do it after Christmas break when we're trying to get that fresh start, and then we do it after spring break to kind of finish out the year. And as kids move in, we want to make sure that they're aware as well. So we really try to make sure we've got a system out there where people can report and get that information to us.
Is one of the things that was unique this year. I was talking to the PCIS team is they'll get an incident and multiple kids report it. So we'll have 4 or 5 different reports all about the same incident from multiple kids. So that's a good sign that nobody's kind of ignoring that. Kids are saying, if you see it, say something like the police tell us. So I think in all, good results from what we're seeing as cases that are determined to be bullying. Questions on that? And we'll update again in June. See how we're doing.
That number seems lower, right?
It's higher
Oh, it is
than
higher.
last year this time.
9 though? The 9 is
Oh, the
higher?
9 is higher. The
It
actual
is?
cases is higher than it
Oh.
was last year. I feel like it was 4 or 6, somewhere in there, but I can look back and let you know. It is definitely the kind of ones that were deemed to be bullying is a little higher this year.
Can you tell if there's a student, can you tell where they're submitting it from, like what IP address, or if it's from the school or if they're from home?
No, if they did it anonymously, we truly can't.
I didn't know,
Can't
if, you know,
tell that.
how many people do
So
it at
they-
the computers at school,
Yeah.
or if there's someone at home and they just,
If it's during the day, usually they'll, like, we've had kids that'll say, hey, I heard so-and-so in the bathroom say X, Y, and Z. But we will get a lot in the evening because unfortunately, some of this stems from social media. You know, there's a lot
Yeah.
of things happen where kids start texting or they're on social media, some kind of a fight happens, and then a parent or a student will get on that evening and say, my son or daughter's dealing with this, and this person's threatening or calling names or doing whatever. They're saying this is going to happen at school tomorrow. So we immediately can make those contacts. And we've said this before, but the nice thing about this system is if there's a true threat, if somebody says there's a real threat, they monitor it 24/7. We've gotten phone calls in the wee hours of the morning where they'll say a bullying report came in and there's a threat made against another student. So we can act on it right away. So usually you can tell if it's from home or if it's from school
Yeah.
when the timing comes.
Makes sense.
Okay, thank you
Thanks.
for doing that. That's it for my report.
Okay, thank you. You can proceed with the agenda.
Okay, I want to recommend the board approve the attached list of donations and grants, and we have a number of them this time. Just to give some recognition, thanking the Minutemen for the Thanksgiving lunch program that we had at some of the schools, which was great. Sally Ellis retired this year, and in lieu of gifts for her retirement, she asked that people donate to the Washington DC trip so she can help sponsor some students to go to that trip, which is something she's very passionate about. So she was able to, I think she said, fund 2 full trips. And she's been able to give scholarships out to kids that wouldn't have been able to go otherwise. So that was very kind of her. John Hinge to our PHS baseball program. The Allison Trust donation will help parents offset lunch charges. So they will go through each year and they'll sometimes call districts and say how many charges are out there. And Jen Garland will report that, and they provide the funds for us to pay those off on behalf of the parents so they can start fresh, which is a pretty neat thing. It's pretty significant. The Piqua Athletic Boosters provided some money for the Digitron sign. Miami Foundation and the Piqua Community Foundation all provided some grants for us as well. So we're just very thankful for their continued support of our school programs. Recommend board approval of the list attached library books from Piqua Central for disposal and removal from the inventory of Piqua City Schools. And if you look at the list, it'll tell if the book is old or if it's just not being checked out anymore. Recommend board approval of the Piqua Junior High School 8th grade overnight trip to DC, which we talked about. We were able to bring that back full this year. We looked at it last year, didn't do it because there were still limitations in terms of how to travel and where they could go, and there might have been pending closures because of COVID. That stuff seems to have moved out of our way, and we felt like we could offer a trip worthy of going and costly and so on. And then recommend board approval of the Winter Guard overnight field trip to Avon High School to compete in the Winter Guard International Invitational. And again, we talked a little bit about that. They've been in function about 3 years now. They are already a part of the marching band, but they extended into the winter to keep them going and hone their skills. This is a big invitational, and our guard is very competitive, so it's going to be really good for them to see some pretty big color guards and how they compete as well. So other than that, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the superintendent's agenda if there's no questions or comments?
so moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Superintendent's agenda is approved. Mr. Lyons.
Thank you. Just two things to highlight. Gary Hornbeck and Jill Hughes both retiring. Thank them for all of their years of service in the kitchen for Jill and on the bus for Gary. And Gary, as I mentioned in the notes, is going to stay on and do maintenance types of work for us, which really, really helps, especially in the spring and summer months. So outside of that, 1 through 9 are really those personnel add-ons, moves, changes, and then you've got the FMLAs after that. Any questions on the notes that I sent you at all? Anything else you want me to share tonight? All right, well, thank you.
I would just say that Sally Ellis and Mindy Gregerson also submitted theirs earlier, but they finish up here in December, so they're officially
End of this month. yeah.
done at the end of this month, so they'll be going full into their retirement, even though you approved it earlier, but this is their wrap-up too.
And they will be missed.
They will.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot. All right, Tony, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve the personnel agenda, please?
Second.
Okay, Jeremy, please call roll.
Mr. Mitchell.
Aye.
Mr. Frazier.
Aye.
Mr. Ford.
Aye.
Mrs. McMakin.
Aye. So the motion carries and the personnel agenda is approved. No old business, so we can move along to new business.
I'd like to recommend the board approval of the attached memorandum of understanding between the Piqua City School District, Board of Education, and the Piqua Education Association. This is one of the new activities we brought. It's our esports program. We have that as part of our new Student Union Center. Really fun to watch those kids compete. It's a whole different level of sport, and it's just been very interesting. But we did not have that until this year, so it was not a part of our salary schedule. So this just provides the salary schedule for that coach.
Okay. And who's that coach?
Cameron,
Kaiser, brand new this year. He did it for the fall season. And then we are working on, we found out that there's dual seasons for esports.
Oh.
So we're preparing for it starts in January, middle of January. So Robbie's working to figure out, we have some interest for the spring season, if you will. So I guess winter / spring. So Cam did a great job. Kids loved it.
Can you tell me what an esports season looked like? Why, just so that
This
I
looks like what your kid does it.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are they playing? Madden?
No, they play.
they're playing against kids elsewhere, but in our student union. Yeah.
Yeah, but what are they playing?
Oh, Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers is one that's on the Switch.
There's like 3 games, and I'm not a gamer, so I don't know, but I've watched them at least 3 times, and it's really fun to watch them. And I mean, they're really into it, and they're just very supportive. I mean, it's
And they're competing against other schools.
yeah. But they're at their school, at their computer, doing their thing, and we're
Saves
here.
on
and-
transportation.
Yeah.
It's and there's colleges figured it out. They had college kids that were playing games all along, and in their mind originally wasting time, but they ended up coming up with teams to get kids engaged in the college, and there's big scholarship dollars in it now. So we're hoping some kids can have another opportunity for something like that. And it has brought students that don't normally participate in sports into an extracurricular activity that's been very fun for them. So
Where do they practice that? Where are they?
In the student union.
The student
Union
union?
Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all set up.
Oh, is it on the computers or is it through?
Yeah, the back
Yeah.
wall there has 4 stations that come out from the wall with TV monitors above that you can watch what's going on. And then there's computers around each pod. So depending on what the game is.
They're all gaming computers. They're
Yeah.
set up for that, so.
Yeah.
we even have some career center students that come back to do it, which was pretty neat to see. But I think it was last week they did a big tournament in the school where during advisory time anybody could come down and participate in the tournament, and then our esports team showed people how to play the games, and there was quite. In fact, they had to do it in multiple days because there were so many kids that they couldn't get it done in one kind of day. So it was really fun to watch. Of course, they got Mr. Meslick up there and blew him away. But it's fun. It's a really good thing for the kids.
God, it is good.
Do you want to
So-
do the second one, or do you want to approve this one?
Should we do it
first?
separate? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the memorandum?
So moved.
Second.
Jeremy, please call roll.
Soccer and Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Ah,
Mr. Frazier. Mr. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell.
Aye.
Mrs. McMacken.
aye.
Got it.
Oh, Rocket League, okay.
You know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, I'm good at it.
Are you
No,
really?
I'm just kidding. I've never played. Okay, so the memorandum is approved. So the next
Yeah,
item.
my son has that.
Oh,
one
yeah,
for
there they are.
Xbox. So this is all computer. It's not Xbox or play. Well, you said
I
it's.
think so. I think
It's-
they can.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff is all computer-based because of I think, the level of wanting the ping and stuff and timing-wise to be able to compete.
Yeah.
So there.
You said there was some Switch
The
stuff
more
as well,
memory,
right?
the better.
They
Yeah,
got
there are
controllers
some
and
Switch
stuff like
games. I think
that.
Smash Brothers runs through the Switch.
So how many participants are there? Do we know?
I'm just guessing because I've not counted them. At least a dozen. Yeah.
Awesome.
The Union Center was pretty full when they did the event last week, and I'm thinking that some of those kids might want to join for the spring.
That's neat. I wonder, will it be the same games or different games for the spring
Yeah, no.
season?
It's an example too of how Student Voice brought this forward, because when we had our student advisory group a couple years ago, we kept asking, what are some things you want to see? And they kept bringing up esports, and we put it as part of our program for the whole Student Union Center, so we planned for it to get to that point, but it's a student-driven, student kind of idea in terms of what they wanted to see, so.
So the coaches meeting is the first full week of January, I think. So that's probably where they'll make decisions on like when the tournaments are and then what games they're playing is my guess. But
Yeah.
it's all pretty new to us still, so.
Yeah.
Fun.
Evolving, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Next item.
I'm asking for the approval of another automated floor scrubbing machine for the Piqua Junior High. We went out for bid for that, and we've had such success in the high school, and the level of cleanliness of the high school floor has improved so drastically, and I feel like it's being maintained well, that the junior high has almost the same amount of square footage that needs to be cleaned on a daily basis. And again, that frees up a person from doing that because that machine's taking care of it. So then we'll move that floor cleaning machine to the next biggest building, which will help them get some of their work done faster as well. So this is being paid with ESSER funds. We used ESSER funds to replace the carpeting to put the rubber flooring in, and so this machine will be cleaning the rubber flooring that we put in. So it still falls under that ESSER
Another
category.
Roomba,
That's the second room.
second room. I was gonna say, because you can see the foot traffic, the foot pattern in the junior high. If you're walking, at least upstairs, whenever I'm up there, you can tell. Like I was like, I thought it wouldn't show that much, but you
Yeah.
can. So if this helps that,
When the
So we
lights
also
shine
have
down.
Tarket coming to look at that problem. So we have tried to clean the new rubber flooring as we did the first section of flooring, and it's not coming clean the way it's supposed to. So I'm not suggesting that this is going to fix that. There's something else going on with the new flooring that's not the same as last year's flooring.
okay.
So they are coming to look at what's going on. So we followed the same procedure to clean, because when you put the new floor down, you actually have to clean this wax coating off. And we're wondering if whatever we did, like if they put it on too thick or whatever, it didn't take that coating off. So it's making the second part of the junior high look dirtier than the first part of the junior high. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
so we are working on that. It is on the punch list. Is there something not right?
Is that all just the education or the educational wings at the junior
Yeah.
high? All four,
Yeah, yes. I
or
would
just
say-
on the second floor?
No, it's all four.
Okay.
And you can really tell though, like, to double it up, then you see coming out of the bathrooms,
Mm-hmm.
that it's even worse for the first so much part out of that as well.
Okay.
So it's all sticking. It's like there's again, I think they put some kind of wax or something on it. So
But you can see the footprints.
we haven't been able to get that wax off, and we need to know what to put on next.
Okay.
So this is the same type of machine as what?
No, you see,
Is
it's
that the high
exact
school?
machine that's going around in the high school.
And you've been pleased with the results there?
Yeah, it's so much better. It looks like it's getting taken care of.
With the size of the high school, does it run all the time?
As long as we have somebody there working, it is running all the time. So they'll refill, dump and refill, and then they'll go do their work while it keeps going. I was there the other night for the band concert, and
it was running in the 500 wing at that time when I came in the back door. So, and nobody else was around, it was doing its thing. So,
And you have like an app that you can see
it
where
does,
it
it
is?
actually runs off of an app. It will send notifications to the staff as well as Sean when it's full and needs to be dumped, when it needs to be refilled. So everybody, I mean, they know exactly when it's finished, so they can check and be like, oh, it's done, or I need to go refill it or move it to its next spot. And
Huh.
it works, it's pretty slick. So it has helped greatly. And again, you think about it, it's expensive, but it's not when you think about it in the longevity of what we're saving with trying to keep the floors clean and what it would take to hire more people to do that. So
Does it run during the day when kids are there?
it does.
Nobody messes with it, or?
You can't, it'll stop.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's so smart. You try to stand in front of it, it doesn't care, it'll stop. So it's
First day we ran it, I came out of the office and I just looked down the hallway and I saw Coach Anise and some students, and they were all standing down there with their arms folded. They were all looking in one direction. I thought, what are they doing? And I walked down there and they were doing the first run of it in the commons area, and it was just running back and forth, and they were just standing there watching it like they were so amazed.
Coach
by
Nace
it.
is easily distracted.
Yeah. But I thought something was going on, and I went down there. I'm like, oh, it's the machine. So it was just going back and forth, going laps, and it's just amazing to watch. Yeah.
I think, is there a warranty? I don't remember
So
that detail.
there is, so you have to buy a 5-year service package with it every time. It's also the GPS and the software and all the stuff it has to make it do its thing. So there's a reoccurring fee every 5 years that we would have to do.
And when will this one be in?
But, that's a good question. I would say it's February, but I won't hold my breath on that. The other one we were able to get right away because it was a demo.
Okay.
This one's a brand new one, so it's not as, you'll have to go through the whole process to get here, it's not on site already.
So what's the fee, the renewal fee, is it?
It's $18,000 for 5 years.
But that includes any type of issue maintenance.
Correct, it's under warranty for that period of time. Now, I don't know what the renewal will be 5 years from now and
Yeah.
what they will or won't cover.
Okay.
Software updates and all that.
But correct, it's mainly the software part, obviously, that costs so much.
Mm-hmm.
The parts on that, we've had the Tenant stuff forever, and the machines are excellent. That's why we keep buying Tenant stuff, but this is obviously new technology, so it's subject to change, but it's doing great. I was getting frustrated when I was going out there just because we've done all this work in the building to make it look nice. You want people to come in and be like, wow, this place looks great. It's just hard to keep up. There's just a lot of square footage.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve this purchase?
So move.
Second.
All right, Mr. Hiddle, please call roll.
Mr. Mitchell.
Aye.
Mr. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Frazier. Mrs. McMackin.
Aye. All right, motion approved. Just those two. Okay.
Last one is to recommend the board approval of the resolution authorizing the sale of real estate that we own that we no longer need for school purposes.
Do we need to say publicly that this is being, we still kind of have a say in what goes on it, or with the contract of them not putting low-income housing and everything on it? Or?
They have no interest in putting low-income housing on it, or Section 8 or anything like that.
So if you would like to add that to the resolution, then we can do that.
Just was thinking for the public, and if they heard us say that we sold it, I just want to be transparent as possible,
Yeah.
so that they know that there's this restrictions on the funding, that it can't go towards that type of housing.
Yeah, we can add that to the sale agreement.
So this is gonna be the Nicklin Avenue
Nickland property and the High
property
Street
and
property.
the High Street
And
properties, to be
that will be our
clear.
last two properties that we've continued to care for since the buildings came down. So we would sell them and no longer have to worry about the upkeep on the properties.
At appraised
insuring them and
value.
all that. It'll be the appraised value, yep,
Okay,
in 2018.
okay.
So I put in here
recommend board approval of the resolution authorizing the sale of real estate owned no longer needed for the school purposes under the condition that no low-income housing or Section 8 housing will be placed on this property.
That's,
That's
yeah,
good.
that's perfect.
And then when we go to actually do the actual contract work with the city, we'll make sure that that covenant is in there.
Okay.
Sounds good. What happens if they, 5 years from now, don't abide by it? Is there any recourse?
We would be able to actually stop that construction.
Okay.
Because they won't, from what I understand, they won't be able to get a loan,
Correct.
right?
There's a covenant on there
Okay.
that would prevent them from doing it, so it shouldn't even, so the developer shouldn't even get that far. So if somehow that would still come down there, we would be able to take district action to prevent that from happening. And again, we're basically approving this resolution, but with that caveat.
Okay.
Everybody feel okay about that?
I think that's probably the best thing for us to do, seeing how much of a touchy subject that's been, and wanting to make sure that we're not trying to be sneaky or just selling the land, get rid of it.
Let the city do what the city does with development. We're
Right.
educate
Right.
kids.
That's not what our
not our
business
thing.
is, yeah. Okay. All right, may I get a motion to approve the sale?
So move.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Hiddle, please call roll.
Mr. Frazier.
Aye.
Mr. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell.
Aye.
Mrs. McMacken.
Aye. Motion carries. And no one here to speak on non-agenda items. So our next board meeting will be an
January 5th.
organizational meeting on January 5th, followed by a to-be-determined regular board meeting in January.
Yep, we'll decide all the dates at that meeting and all of your committee.
Most
Work.
likely January 26th.
Pardon?
Most likely January 26th.
Okay, so last Thursday.
January
And then
5th,
we will
that's the
need to
4th.
nominate a president pro tem for that meeting.
Okay,
So we'll need to do it now.
okay.
Sean Ford.
Can they
This is
do-
the
Then you
next
nominate-
one. And yeah, so they need to nominate Sean Ford as the president pro tem because she can't be president until she gets reelected kind of thing.
Go ahead.
Say
So-
I nominate Sean Ford. I nominate Sean Ford.
There you go.
Next, please.
Thank-
Do we need to say anything else about it?
Need a second.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Trying to chew gum and write.
Do we need,
Now we have to vote on that.
okay. All in favor of Sean Ford being pro tem president, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. And can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So move.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries and this meeting is adjourned.